bomb attacks at Quarter Zone, that is in Komamboga. There's no evidence so far.
However, security in Uganda has clustered the terror act as domestic. Uganda has several known terror groups, ranging from the ADF, which police is currently investigating in relation to the attack.
And establish whether there is any connectivity to any hostile terror groups, domestically or out of the country.
No suspect so far has been arrested in connection to the attack, though several guidelines have been issued to the public to encourage vigilance over terror threats.
Landlords are specifically urged to take all necessary precautions to identify their tenants and be mindful of any suspicious people on their premises.
The terror attack has reawakened the police enforcement on COVID-19 regulations. Territorial commanders are directed to do the needful.
Already seeing an increase in certain behaviors and activities that are in total violation of the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. A number of individuals, including groups, these days not bothered at all about the threats of COVID. People are becoming more maskless.
Meanwhile, Uganda prisons have banned visitors without vaccination certificates to the prison premises.
We have opened the window that you can visit your prisoners on two conditions. That one, you must be vaccinated, but two, you must have a test result showing you are negative in 72 hours.
Abdul Nasele Lubwama, Lydia Chomukama for UBC News.
Yet an explosion suspected to be a bomb attack has hit Swift Safari bus registration number UAU 9890. Now, it is reported that one person has been killed in the explosion and several others injured. The explosion happened at Lungala in Mpigi district. The bus was bound for Kampala.
Ebaddemu eyo Swift. Naye temuli bafunye buzibu. What? Tebanagijjamu.
We will keep you updated on that story and much more as more details unveil. Now, National Unity Platform political leadership is demanding for swift and honest investigations from government into the Komamboga bomb blast that left one life lost and scores injured. The demand seeks to have perpetrators known and brought to book. As our reporter Farida Nafka reports, the spokesperson for NUP, Joel Senyonyi, says police have leading clues to the incident following reports of ISO operatives alleged to have been involved in the attack.
The National Unity Platform main opposition party has downplayed reports associating it to have masterminded the improvised explosive device that exploded in Komamboga, a suburb adjacent to Kampala, capital city, killing one person and severely injuring 5 people. The leadership of NUP is also treating allegations that a person dressed in NUP t-shirt was sighted on the scene of crime few minutes before the improvised explosive device exploded. However, other statements indicate that the Islamic State, or ISIS, which is a militant organization that emerged as an offshoot of Al-Qaeda in 2014, has owned the terror attack on Uganda, a fact that NUP leadership is treating as uncoordinated and fabricated statements aimed at framing NUP leaders with charges.
Plans to continuously fabricate these charges against NUP leaders because they want to persecute us, they want to find excuses to come after us.
I mean that everybody who is putting on a People Power t-shirt has an attachment to that attack. Let the investigations, for us we deal with facts.
Despite of these allegations, NUP says it's grieving with affected families, but it's demanding for swift and honest investigations into the Komamboga aid explosion. However, NUP leadership says that police investigations should start with ISO operatives who were arrested for the alleged involvement in petrol bomb attacks.
ISO operatives were involved in petrol bomb attacks. That was not long ago. Police arrested them. So if police is serious about carrying out investigations, they have where to start. If they are serious. Because you see, there's many things that happen and the victims do not get justice.
Nothing yet indicating the motivation. We simply have a description of the identity of the three suspects, and it is a very good lead that we are building on.
The Secretary General National Unity Platform, David Lewis Lubongoya, has cautioned members of cabinet who are rushing to approve the proposal to deny bail to people who have committed capital offences that they will be the first victims of their unconstitutional assent.
What we want to do is to send a clear warning to those people in cabinet and to the members of parliament. Think about the MPs who were very busy passing the age limit bill. I don't know the percentage, but very many of them did not return. This is even worse. To even think about removing bail for certain offences in a country where people are just framed.
In response to the court ruling that nullified the victory of NUP's MP Joyce Bagala in Mitiana district, the party's Secretary General Lubongoya revealed that the supreme organ of the party is still pondering on the next course of action, but on table, making an appeal is among the many options.
We should know that people power is our power. Anytime they send us in a by-election or any election of that, for that matter, we are confident that we will win because the people of Uganda are there and they trust us and they will continue to entrust us.
However, NUP leadership is also advising government top on its priorities to consider reopening schools and lifting the veil on curfew to enable the operationalization of the night economy. I'm Navka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Kamocha.
Meanwhile, different stakeholders from Kampala Central Business District have called upon the public to be vigilant for their personal security amidst terror threats across the country. Taxi park leaders, downtown businessmen, politicians and arcade owners are sounding an alarm to the business community following the Saturday terror attack that claimed one person and injured several.
Following the terror attack that claimed one life in Komamboga, a village at the outskirts of Kawempe division, different stakeholders have called upon the general public, often in crowded areas in downtown Kampala, to be security vigilant.
All of us Ugandans to be vigilant. The police cannot do everything themselves. We need to help them out. I want to give distinction to the security forces of this country. They have done a good job. These are things that at times we try our best to see do not happen, but they end up happening. So it's upon all Ugandans to be vigilant and see if you get curious on someone, please notify the relevant authorities to see it doesn't happen again. Because this is today in Kawempe, next time it will be in Kampala Central. We have a very busy center in Chikubo, in Owino Market, in the taxi park. It's very, very busy in Kiseka Market down here.
The continued flouting of COVID-19 guidelines is something that the resident city commissioner, Rubaga Division, Doreen Keita, has recorded on, calling upon the public to adhere to.
I'm cautioning and I'm appealing business owners, bars, any kind of workshops, whatever, restaurants, hotels, churches, okay? I am calling upon you, respect the rules. Respect the rules put in place. First of all, I want to remind you we still have COVID-19.
Businessmen, arcade owners and owners of bus companies and operators in Kampala metropolitan region have appealed to Ugandans to keep a keen eye in areas they operate in and take collective responsibility amid these terror threats.
Secondly, I call upon everyone to be vigilant, those who are operating within our premises, those who are handling and managing, and all the street agencies handling security, our premises to keep vigilant and watch out on these terror attacks.
Basuubuzi bannange mwenna naddala abo mu kikuba bawangaliramu bakubira omulanga era nga mbabuulira nti ebintu ebikwatagana n'obutereke bwe mutereka n'omuntu okumala ebbanga eddene mifo wookolera wooli awo nga tomumanyi ng'ayimiridde awo oli azina kidduka apaakinze awo akireseewo tomanyi waalaze oli aleese pikipiki agitadde awo tomanyi kyagenzi kimuleese naye nga tobeera ne buli lunaku oteekwa okutwala obuvunaanyizibwa okuteekawo empuliziganya y'amangu ne bekikwatako
kwe ku-identifyinga abantu abali mulimu gwa taxi ku masiteegi bonna abakulembeze badereva bakondakita bannannyini mmotoka twagala okumanya buli mmotoka eri mu taxi ani nannyiniyo twagala okumanya buli dereva ne kondakita siteegi kwe bakolera nga balina ne kaadi zaabwe twagala okuzaawo sisitimu eya security nga tukuŋŋaanya ba defense secretaries ku masiteegi gonna
tiyakukebera kebera mugugu kebera kyakigondere bugondezi kubanga security etukwata ffenna kyekieta lwaki kwegayirira nti bakukebera ng'ate ekintu kinaabwawo ffenna kitutwala.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Now, the High Court in Masaka has dismissed a bail application for the two members of Parliament, Mohamed Sejirinya and Alan Sewanyana, on Vijambia murder charges in the Greater Masaka region. The magistrate of this court, Lawrence Toyanze, said the two may use their positions of power to interfere with the investigations and also refuse to return to court for trial.
Session case number 258 of 2021.
Rosira and Chigo.
The two suspects, Mohamed Segirinya and Alan Sewanyana, through their lawyers Elias Lukwago and Shamim Malende, filed a bail application seeking for their release, urging that they are sick, they are being charged with the same cases which the previous court granted them bail for.
Amounts to a reversal of the decision earlier on given by his Land sister, Justice Victoria Nachendo. Actually, he has overturned it. Those arguments are quite speculative.
In his ruling, Magistrate Twenyanze said the sickness the two are suffering from can be treated while they are in prison. According to Magistrate Twenyanze, the two MPs are charged with many cases, ranging from capital offences for which he is skeptical to grant bail to them. Against this suspicion, Magistrate Twenyanze dismissed their request to stand surety for the suspects, though directed police to fasten their investigations and the prison services to ensure better treatment is accorded to them.
On this ground, I'm in agreement with the Resident Chief State Attorney that being a member of Parliament is not a condition for grant of bail. On this ground, I agree with the submission of the Chief State Attorney that the applicants are not suffering from grave illness, and in my view, such illnesses can be managed by our health facilities, if not by the prison facilities. The applicants are charged with the offense of murder, which has the maximum penalty of death sentence, so the chances of absconding are so high. In the result, I find that this court is not satisfied that the applicants will not interfere and/or with investigations and/or witnesses of the state, and that they will not abscond. It is for these reasons that I decline the bail to the applicants.
That these are members of Parliament who cannot easily run away from their constituencies, who cannot abscond from the jurisdiction of court, who can't abdicate their duties as members of Parliament. I'm surprised that didn't convince the judge.
What we are going to do, if Segirinya's leg is going to be amputated, we shall bring it here and give it to the judge.
Meanwhile, the retired Supreme Court Judge Professor George Wilson Kanyihamba has dragged the government, President Museveni and the Attorney General into the courts of law, challenging the President's proposal on the bail issue and police bond. According to Justice Kanyihamba, in his prayers, wants court to prohibit the respondent's furtherance of any actions that are intended to make any amendments in the laws governing bail and police bond.
Against YKM7 and the NRM party.
At exactly 10 a.m., retired Judge of the Supreme Court, Professor George Wilson Kanyihamba, was arraigned at the Constitutional Court in Kampala, accompanied by his legal team to file his petition.
We have cited Article 1.
However, in his petition to this court, Professor George Wilson Kanyihamba is suing the Attorney General of Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the ruling party, National Resistance Movement. In the petition, Professor George Wilson Kanyihamba says the respondent's proposal on bail and police bond will interfere with the accused's constitutional rights as stipulated in the Constitution of 1995 if adhered to.
They can reflect that we have paid the fees. I have paid the fees. The petitioners have paid everything that is required.
In his petition to court, Professor Kanyihamba wants court to halt all the ongoing discussions by Parliament and Cabinet on bail and police bond until court pronounces itself on his petition.
Many people don't appreciate that Uganda has never been a colony, simply because when the Europeans came here, they found that our countries, Buganda, Ankole, Toro, and Bunyoro, and the municipality of Busoga, were very well organized, well governed by traditional kings and rulers.
Kanyihamba, however, cites threats to his former legal team, led by Counsel Elias Lukwago, on the matter before court. However, he opted to represent himself before court.
Called other people on their numbers to call him, he doesn't answer. There were two others who had also agreed to help us with the petition. They are also not answering. In my opinion, we shall conduct it properly, even if the lawyers run away from us. In fact, I am glad, because if there are any mistakes to be made in the petition, if there are no points argued, it will be the mistakes of Kanyihamba, and nobody will blame others.
In a later development, Professor Kanyihamba has dismissed allegations that he is against the ruling NLM government and President Museveni, describing the move as his constitutional right to protect the constitution.
I don't know why they think so, that I am an opponent of the party. I have never opposed any political party, but I oppose their policies. Museveni has been my friend. If you go in my house, I have a picture where he entertained me with my family, and I have seen him. I have been to Gwachtura. But I don't like the policies which affect my people. I am a Ugandan.
Nanto Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
The State Minister for Primary Health Care, Margaret Mohanga, has urged parents to take their children aged below 5 years for polio vaccination following reports of the rising polio cases in the country. Mohanga was officiating at the commemoration of the International Polio Day in Mukono district. Let's take a look.
The Ministry of Health has just acquired 10 million doses of polio vaccine to vaccinate a targeted number of 8.7 million children below the age of 5.
Guardians, community leaders, our civil leaders, to go to the villages, mobilize people to take their children below 5 and below, to take the vaccine against polio. Because we estimate about 8.7 million children, 5 and below, and we have enough vaccines to give to these children. It's just a drop in the mouth, so parents should not even fear so much. But that prevents your children from getting polio, and also a severe disability where this child will be dependent on you for everything once they are hit by polio if they don't die.
The World Health Organization Uganda office confirms that polio cases are on the rise again in the country and appeals to parents to embrace the vaccination exercise.
We are fighting polio again. And this time it's not the word polio we are fighting the vaccine. We are fighting vaccine-driven polio cases which come when we do not vaccinate all children. So the need for making sure that every child is vaccinated is important.
Charity organizations like Rotary are helping government to create awareness but also mobilize parents to take their children for immunization.
With that, we take a quick break. When we return, more details. This is News Tonight.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Vaccinated today so we can get closer to the normal way of life. Echa COVID-19 chija kugwa.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Airtel Uganda has the best and most affordable rates when it comes to withdrawing and sending money. Withdraw money for as low as 330 shillings up to a maximum of 12,500 shillings. Sending money is just as affordable as ever. Absolutely unbeatable. Use Airtel Money on the most affordable network with the largest network of Airtel Money branches in Uganda. Dial *185# to get started. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Now, the Democratic Party Parliamentary Caucus and National Executive Committee have passed a resolution to trigger demand for a referendum on the scrapping off of the bail constitutional right from the law books of Uganda.
Democratic Party, through its National Executive Committee and Parliamentary Caucus, has concluded a 3-day retreat in which they have launched a groundbreaking measure to defend the right to bail. Democratic Party President Norbert Mao wants the national referendum on protection of personal freedom, authorized to protect Ugandans' right to bail, as enshrined in the Constitution of 1995, which he says should not be tampered with unless the voters have agreed so.
Trust our judges enough. So we are defending judicial independence by defending their discretion. Parliament cannot touch it without the consent of the people.
Moore reiterated that they have written a letter to the Electoral Commission to allow them look for signatures from voters and also launch a nationwide drive before Parliament continues to discuss the bill.
Should anyone dare to table any bill in Parliament, we will then go to court, stopping any discussion in the Parliament for the simple reason that power belongs to the people. And if a referendum has been authorized under the Constitution, what we want is citizens to be part of this discussion.
Under Article 44 of the Constitution, there are a number of provisions which must be amended only through a referendum. You cannot do away with people's liberties without seeking their consent. As Democratic Party, we have decided to take this struggle to the people. We cannot let it be as a matter to be monopolized by the legislature and the executive, when the judiciary is being barred from exercising its powers.
Because this is no longer a preserve of Parliament, this is a concern of the people, and the people must take a decision about them. One is political, another one is economic, because they want to secure long time of detention for those from whom they want to grab land.
In the same conference, he asked the Electoral Commission to stop giving out victories according to their will, but rather follow the voice of Ugandans.
The conduct of the Electoral Commission shows that they are consistently subverting the will of the people.
The purpose of the retreat was to brainstorm on the journey of DP, assess the current state of the party, renew party structures from village level, and also take the bail struggle to the people of Uganda. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Thrive Uganda, in partnership with Rotary Club Chengera, have launched a health camp aimed at engaging and sensitizing communities on revamping safe motherhood ahead of the World Safe Motherhood Celebrations Week at Chengera Health Center 3 in Wakiso District. This is to help in the elimination of numbers of maternal mortality ratio in the country.
According to a health survey of last year, the maternal mortality ratio in Uganda was at 336 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, as the infant mortality stood at 43 deaths per 1,000 live births, with 42% of the mortality during neonatal period. Against this dilemma, health experts are reminding Ugandans about safe motherhood through preparations amongst expectant mothers and about good care of their newly born babies. The sensitization campaign by Thrive Uganda and Rotary Club Chengera at Chengera Health Center 3 is aimed at reducing mortality ratio. Dr. Nansley Rachel Samantha, the Deputy Clinical Head Kawempe National Referral Hospital, says they admit over 650 mothers at the facility in a week, and 57% of these die due to severe bleeding.
We lose a lot of mothers. We lose mothers, and I may not go into the details of how many, but you find that of these mothers who die while giving birth, 85% are referred in. They don't just come and walk in, they refer them. Yet of those, 57% of them die while giving birth because of excessive hemorrhage. They bleed a lot and end up passing on.
She, however, cites the challenges that they face and appeals to expectant mothers to regularly visit health workers for antenatal checkups to regulate dates.
Well, preventing maternal deaths, we talk about the 3 delays. And one of them is in the community, the first one. Has the mother failed to make a decision to come to the facility? Do they even know that they have a problem? And that is where one of the biggest challenge comes in. This information that is being given or running on the screen is very important because it teaches the mothers some of these danger signs so that they do not sit home and then come in when it's late. Our challenge is that we receive these mothers when it's really late. And that is a very, very big challenge because at the end of the day, you find that you can't do much for them. Then number 2 is our facilities. These are the lower facilities. Sending in the mothers late. We want our health workers in the lower health facilities to identify these mothers who cannot be managed in the lower health facilities and refer them timely to the National Referral Hospital.
Meanwhile, civil society is calling upon government to enact the National Alcohol Control Policy since it has taken long to be passed. This was revealed during a workshop on alcohol control in Jinja and Masindi districts, reviewing progress and future plans in view of COVID-19 pandemic.
Alcohol use has a heavy burden of infectious diseases. The country is also experiencing an upsurge in the occurrence of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, mental illness, among others. It is from this backdrop that civil society is calling about the government to fasten the enactment of the Alcohol Control Act or use alternative laws like the Public Health Act.
A very long time to pass, and some laws can take up to 100 years of enforcing the policy. And one quick hanging fruit is the Public Health Act, because it's already there, and what the minister needs is to pass instruments.
Those moments when the police would stop at some point and they would check whoever was driving. We no longer see these things. Very good countermeasure. It's a very good intervention that requires to be revamped.
The objective of this project is to improve the well-being of people in the sugar-producing district, since the consumption of alcohol there is high. Once the National Alcohol Control Law is passed, the drinking age will be lifted from 18 years to 21 years to safeguard the future and the health of the youths.
Because currently, in as far as there is that 18-year-old thing, but by the way, this policy is increasing it to 21. Then the consumption is just too much. If we are consuming alcohol left, right, and center, from home, from the workplace, from everywhere, we have banned the Boveras, but the small bottles that were replaced are continuing to be a problem.
20% of the admissions at Butabika National Referral Hospital are due to alcohol or other drugs. Mental health experts note that most of the rehabilitation centers are full to capacity.
Overwhelmed with inquiries, with the calls, with the clients, especially young people. These days, especially now after COVID, very many young people have taken on drugs space is running out for admissions in the rehabilitation centers.
Alcohol can damage nearly every organ in the body, and because it is a psychoactive, it can induce alterations in the most of the brain structure, and its use contributes to 200 diseases and conditions. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The Judiciary has confirmed 18 courts, including the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, among those to be installed with electronic case management information system in the first phase. The system, which is believed to improve, the system was launched by the Chief Justice Alfonso Owinyi Dolo last week. Now, among the high courts to be installed with this system include Jinja High Court, Mukono High Court and Wakiso, not excluding some magistrates' courts. The communication was made by the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Pius Bigirimana, in Kampala.
Last week, Judiciary launched the Electronic Case Management Information System, ECMIS, which will facilitate the efficient and reliable collection of information, organization, distribution, and retrieval of significant amounts of case-specific data. The launch was graced by the Chief Justice Alfonso Owinyi Dolo at the Judiciary headquarters in Kampala. Pius Bigirimana, the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, is optimistic that if the system is embraced, it will assist the judiciary and court users to address some of the challenges.
So that the files are online, so that the papers which have been missing, sometimes they fry off the files, will be on file. And if there is any question, then we will have to follow the route where the filing started, who received the filing, who allocated the file to who. It is easy to trace.
Bigirimana says in the first phase, the system will be installed in 18 courts, including Supreme Court and Court of Appeal in Kampala, as sensitization is taking place among judicial officials on how best the system is used.
We have dedicated technical people in these courts to make sure that if somebody does not understand or does not quickly appreciate the system, that person will be helped. And we are going to put cameras in those kiosks. Cameras so that when you are handling these filed cases, we shall be watching what the person in the kiosk is doing.
Among those to use the system after it's installed are the lawyers who their reservations about the system were attended to.
You must look at the population. Who are people? Who are the court users? The most court users, are they the youth? It is obvious that the youth here have smartphones. What about the elderly who file land disputes in court? Can they afford possessing laptops and smartphones? What will happen if I have an urgent application I want to file in court? It must be better and the system is down. Those are the challenges.
Technology is advancing every other day, and we cannot afford to continue living in history. If we don't move fast, we shall be left behind.
Chikari Sande David, the ECMIS project manager, highlights on the issue of internet, which is likely to affect the effectiveness of the system and how the media benefits from the system.
We've taken cognizance of all these, and that's why you see our system is deployed, taking the phased approach. We are phasing it. So phase 1 has the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal. It has 7 high court divisions.
Since the onset of the COVID-19 outbreak, the country has lost over 100 healthcare workers. The Commissioner, Clinical Services, Dr. Charles Olaro, made the disclosure at the 19th Dr. Matthew Lukwia Memorial Lecture under the theme, The Health of Healthcare Workers in Perspective of COVID-19 Pandemic. Let's take a look.
Number of our skilled health workers to this pandemic.
COVID-19 vaccination is the only cost-effective method to getting back to normal and opening up the economy. The Commissioner Clinical Services, Dr. Charles Olaro, urged health workers to embrace COVID-19 vaccination. He disclosed this at the memorial lecture of Dr. Matthew Lukia, who lost his life in the line of duty during the Ebola pandemic.
By the time some of them died, the vaccines were not there. But now we know that the vaccines are available, and we know that the vaccines are efficient, they're effective. So we really want to appeal to all health workers. If by up to now you have not taken your vaccination, then probably all the knowledge you have learned from school is not helping you, because you know very well that the vaccine will form the first line of defense of infection prevention and control.
While recognizing health workers who departed due to COVID-19 and other pandemics, it was revealed that the country lost 4 senior doctors in the second wave from the month of May to June 2021.
In a country which has got very few health workers in relation to the population. So we really need to protect the few health workers, because we may think there are many, but in real terms, because the population is ever growing, and because there are so many specialties where the health workers have to work, losing even 1, 2, 3 is too much.
Ministry of Health is in the process of establishing a robust IPC program and a health safety program to be institutionalized at all levels of the health sector. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
An unknown group of people in Bokassa, Chira municipality have destroyed eucalyptus trees in the early hours of Monday morning. Now, the trees in question are sheltered on land belonging to National Forestry Authority leased to Awan Jack Wycliffe Karuragire, a retired commissioner of Uganda prisons. As Henry Crute reports, Karuragire blames the destruction on land grabbers whom he accuses of wanting to acquire government land at all costs.
It is not the first time they are doing this, having done the same in 2016 by a group of people who keep coming and going. Eucalyptus trees destroyed at the expense of the developer to whom the land was leased in 1994. This is the kind of news that Jack Wycliffe Karuragire, a retired commissioner of Uganda prisons, woke up to on Monday morning.
That I have occupied this place for a long time, that they want this land, they want to occupy it. But there are procedures, in my view, to getting this land. First, it has to be degazetted, and after degazation, people who are interested, including myself, a bona fide occupant, can apply and get land titles.
Destroyed and regrown explains why most of the trunks are in pairs. Unfortunately, the destroyers are back to do what they love doing best. Residents who preferred anonymity said they were armed with pangas and power saws. According to legal provisions in Uganda, this is tantamount to malicious damage to property.
Above me, this was a forest, the trees were cut. You see houses there. The other end where we have been standing, the other end, there were also trees. The trees were cut in this manner. The way you see cutting halfway.
Not even warnings from National Forestry Authority stopped them from cutting down these trees. Who they are is still a question with no clear answers. But there is a hint.
Because there was a time when I was busy slashing in these trees, a brigadier came and I asked him what he was doing in my trees, and he told me that they were doing government programs. Little did I know that it was part of a group to get land titles. And I think
police and army officers have assessed the situation but declined to divulge details of the next course of action, according to documents, some of which we have seen. This land was leased to Mr. Kiruragire up to 2033 by National Forestry Authority. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the Ministry of Works and Transport has requested Gulu University for 14 acres out of the 786 acres of land acquired by the Ministry of Education to set up Gulu University Moroto Constituent College. State Minister for Works, Musa Echweru, has met Moroto district leaders, officials from the Ministry of Works and Gulu University.
In 2019, Minister of Education acquired 786 acres of land along Moroto-Nakapiripiritu Road in Nadunget sub-county to house Gulu University Moroto Constituency College. The government chief valuer report showed that 6.5 billion shillings was earmarked to compensate 294 squatters, out of whom 174 have been compensated. But it was not mentioned that Ministry of Works had initially acquired 13 acres in the middle of the 786 acres of land.
Was to say, but we have disinterest. Because when you discuss with the elders, I have also consulted elders here, they confirm, professors, they confirmed that there was a road down camp here.
Works camp was there in that area. But it was after we had even after the university had even written forms, brought us the forms of the committee we wrote. We had not seen that there are some more places where the works was occupying. But it was later when we went through, when somebody called us that there was a former place for works. But as we went, we saw cement remnants.
State Minister for Works, Musa Echweru, was in Moroto to assess the controversy on the land.
Probably about 13 or so acres. It used to be a road gang camp. That time when we used to work with what we call PIDA, Public Works Department.
In the meantime, he also requested Gulu University to allocate 10 acres of land to Ministry of Works for a material laboratory.
We intend to open a workshop for maintaining our equipment here, because right now the equipment is taken all the way up to Gulu.
That is why they take it, isn't it?
For Karamoja region.
He also warned against encroaching on government land.
But now that we are really focusing on development, every element of government will be taken into consideration.
But what does the material laboratory mean?
If they are going to bring some tar for use anywhere, for government facility that is supposed to last, it must be tested.
That tests construction materials to check their suitability for construction.
The chairperson, Gulu University Constituent College Moroto Task Force Ongom Ocheng, and the head of planning at Gulu University are waiting for government funding to start construction.
We are now working on the master plan for any construction. If government is to give us money for any construction to kickstart.
In the meantime, the meeting later resolved that the land belonged to Gulu University. The leaders also promised to consult the University Council on the final decision. Javiona Francisco and Maureen Yiga, UBC News.
And an explosion suspected to be a bomb attack hit Swift Safari bus registration number UAU 989T earlier in the day. This happened at Lungala in Impiji district. We have our reporter Ivan Kahwa on location right now. Ivan Kahwa, if you can hear me, what is the situation on ground? What are the security operatives saying about this explosion that has happened just a day after another in Komamboga?
This specific Swift coach. I've talked to some of them along this side, but most importantly, I did ask one of the person who was seated in the bus and told me that there was no so much checking at the time of leaving the bus park. But this explosion happened just in the middle of the bus, and maybe I will try to talk to some of them so that they can give us an update of what exactly happened as they were aboard the bus. Nga kibinyo nyabo tusaba otubulireko ku kiki ekyabaddewo we mwavudde e Kampala okwolekera e Bushenyi.
Kati ekibaddewo tubadde tuva Kampala nga tugenda Bushenyi, tubadde tutuuse Mpigi. Mbadde ntudde n'omusajja oyo abadde yafunye obuzibu. Kati bwe twabadde awo ne tulaba ng'ekintu kibwatuse, tusuubira tubadde tulowooza nti ebadde bbomu. Kati nze mbadde ntudde naye oyo musajja kugenda okulaba nga ndaba ebyenda biyise, omutwe gukubye ku nsingo, ensingo agikubye ku dirisa ya baasi okukakana nga nebi glasses of bus nga byatise. Kati nange makati yange naye wabaddewo baaga eyo neyurika. Kati emabega ye wabaddeyo RPC wa Bushenyi. Omusajja oyo afunye ebisago by'amaanyi ku magulu, ayinza okuba amenyese. Ate omulala abadde mu maaso, kati oyo w'omu maaso naye n'afunako ebisago ku mikono, mu mugongo. Naye ate ekyewuunyisa, nze mbadde ntudde naye siina kye mbadde naye, ate omuto ye gw'abadde atuddemu gwonna guyirisayirise, gwonna ne guggwaawo. Naye ku nze Mukama nanseevinga, siina kye mbadde era nsiimako Katonda kubanga ntaasizza bw'atyo.
Ekintu ekyo kibaluse kibalukidde wagguluko oba wansinsi mu baasi?
Mazima ddala nsuubira nti tubadde tulowooza either bayinza okuba babadde bakiteze mu baasi oba yabadde akyambadde, kubanga bw'oba olaba engeri gy'ebyenda gye biyise, kunze nsuubira ekintu ekivuddeko accident ayinza okuba yabadde akiyina, kubanga immediately olubuto lwabise ne biyurikayurika. Ate wansi wabadde atudde wote wayurise nnyo nga wano ku mutto. Kati gumuto wabadde yesigamye nawo wayurise nnyo, ate n'olubuto ne lukola ki ne luyuruka, ebyenda ne byeyiwa wali. Kati bwe bityo bwe byatambudde naffe bwatyo Mukama bw'asumaatudde.
Moze Kisembayo, twagala otunnyonnyole, wali mu kulinnya baasi nga muva e Kampala, okukebera kwabadde kutya naddala mu bus park?
Okukebera kwabadde kulungi kubanga bagezezzaako naye tebatukebedde nnyo kiri awo, ekyegamba nti batuceekiza omuntu oba olina biki. Tubadde tutuuka wali ne batusalira risiiti ne tuyingira. Naye omusajja afunyeeko obutanda abadde mu maaso, bamuyita Bingana. Oyo omusajja yasoose ne yeekanga ku ono omusajja n'amugamba ng'olinga afaanana nga atagenda, oli mu bana ababeera wano just bubeezi oba otambula, kubanga amulabye ng'abadde mu kifaananyi kirala, nga n'endabika ye n'ennyambala gy'abadde ayambaddemu wadde abadde muvubuka muto, ng'alabika ng'omuntu atali sirias atagenda. Ko ye n'aggyayo risiiti n'agimulaga n'amugamba tigenda, kuba ekiraga nti genda risiiti yino ya $300. Ate eryo bwe yamaze okugimulaga n'akola ki, n'akkiriza nti abadde naye ekyamaliriza.
Well, I think they're trying to take them to another destination. She is one of the key witnesses who has been aboard this bus that has exploded today. Not that the entire bus exploded, but just a specific area within the bus that exploded. And of course, we heard from her, that quite this gentleman who has actually died was wrapping himself with this explosive. But that is, as of now, preliminary. But I think Uganda police will later release information to ascertain whether it is true or not, if the deceased was actually wrapping himself with an explosive. And the place has been really cordoned off, and the Red Cross The Red Cross team is also here to try to ascertain what exactly is happening, and the bomb squad as well is on location to ascertain what exactly is happening this side. Well, this comes in just a few days after another explosion occurred in Komamboga, that is in Kampala, and the question would be that how should we look into our security as of now, and how should we ensure that we increase the vigilance among the public? And when you look at the narrations of all these people who are aboard the bus, it really shows you that we really need to strengthen a little bit more when it comes to emphasizing the issue of security. Remember, the issue of security is not only the responsibility of security, but as well the responsibility of you and me as a Ugandan. Mind you, if had the person who was skeptical about that gentleman who was in the bus mentioned it to any other person, perhaps there could have been something done about this. Well, that is the preliminary information we are having, but of course we shall keep you updated, keep you posted on what exactly is happening, since we are still camping here. Though the unfortunate bit for other road users here, the road has been cut off, and as we came as well, we had to move a little bit of a distance because of traffic jam. No vehicle is allowed specifically to go beyond this point. You can see this is the crime scene, and investigations are still going on. They are trying to secure the place so that it is not contaminated. This is key when it comes to getting any form of evidence, but I will talk to some other people to ascertain if there is any other information that can help us to inform the nation on what exactly is happening. Back to you, Rhoda Ngonzi.
Thank you very much, Ivan, for that. We'll keep you updated on what is happening in Lugala and in PG, and as well other investigations of the police as they also unveil them to us. With that, we take a quick break. When we return, more details. This is News Tonight.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of homegrown advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165 *65 hash or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Parents and guardians, this month of October, take all your children aged 15 years and below to the nearest health facility or outreach post for integrated child health days to receive a wide range of free services. The services will include immunization to protect them against killer yet vaccine-preventable diseases like measles, rubella, polio, diphtheria, whooping cough, pneumonia, meningitis, diarrhea, tetanus, hepatitis B, tuberculosis, and cancer of the cervix. Your child will also receive vitamin A and deworming tablets. Girls aged 10 years old and those who missed their second HPV vaccine dose will receive HPV vaccine to protect them against cancer of the cervix. Girls and women aged 15 to 49 years will also be immunized against tetanus and diphtheria. Due to polio outbreak in the region, every child under 5 years should be fully immunized as per the routine immunization schedule. Vaccines used for immunization are safe, effective and free and have been approved by the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization. Remember to follow all the COVID-19 prevention measures, including wearing a mask when in public, hand washing with water and soap, and keeping a distance of at least 2 meters from another person. Integrated Child Health Days, a healthy child, a happy family. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization, Earth, and partners.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. Finding a good place to watch football was never easy, but it was costly. Until James discovered something big. Now he can finally enjoy the benefits of home ground advantage with a decoder and 1 month of GoTV value. For just 25,000 shillings, enjoy the world's biggest leagues and cap competitions. GoTV Uganda, love it.
And now the top stories for tonight.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Security downplays ISIS terror attack claims. While business fraternity call for personal security. In Sudan, government officials detained the airport and internet shut down. And in sports, Ababet reiterates support to Arua Besto Dumparaka FC.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Let's now take a look at the weather update. We apologize for that. That does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us throughout the hour. I'm Rhoda Ngonzi on sign language. Elizabeth Nakakoni. Have yourselves a lovely night.
Obulamu bwo program ekuleeteddwa ekitongole ky'ebyobulamu. Okumanya omubiri gwo, endya ennungi, ebyobulamu byonna, n'embeera ennungi. Tuula ntende ku program obulamu bwo.
Kwaniriza mu program obulamu bwo. Nze Dr. Kanyike Francis nga bulijjo omutesitesi era omwanjuzi wa program. Mwansaba ku luli nti nkomyewo abasawo betwali nabo mu Sweta abatunyonnyola ku kyende ekibotose ne butya bwe bakirongoosa. Nange ne ŋŋondera okusaba okwo